People may want to harm you more if you show them how wounded you are. While it doesn't always happen, it's not uncommon for some people to enjoy watching you suffer, or even to help things get worse. Unfortunately, jealousy and sadism are common behaviors that can impede your personal development in a variety of contexts, including the workplace, your social circle, and even your family. As a result, mastering the art of hiding your weaknesses may turn them into strengths. Put yourself in the position of a tree during a storm. Despite the branches and leaves swaying and fluttering, the trunk stays firm and firmly planted in the ground. This is the silent resilience portrayal that we will impart to our students. In this video, we'll discuss how you may become even more resilient by demonstrating that you are not readily impacted by outside problems and how every obstacle can help you become more like a tree. You are not rejecting the storm when you pretend everything is all right. Rather, you are choosing to resist letting the rain drench you and the wind carry you away. You will get the ability to control your own destiny and to remain calm, strong, and resolute in the face of chaos. We'll discuss the 18 Stoic principles of Epictetus in this video. Epictetus is a well-known and esteemed philosopher that you've definitely heard of. Moreover, I extend an invitation to self-knowledge, wherein the stillness of the light that illuminates the way provides strength rather than the thunderous loudness. As a result, concentrate on the material rather than on everyday distractions for the following few minutes. Let's start with the first principle. Principle 1. Pay attention twice as much as you talk. Have you ever wondered why we have one mouth but two ears in nature? Epictetus asserts that this reality has a purpose and that there is neither mistake nor coincidence. We are called to fall in love with other people's voices more than we are with our own. Instead of constantly saying the same thing over and over again, we grow in life by picking up knowledge from others. As a result, starting today, focus more on what those around you are saying and less on the beliefs you have been upholding up until this point. Principle 2. Be ready for the worst at all times. Thinking that bad things are in store for us down the road is a major contributor to anxiety and its debilitating effects. We worry that our spouse will come clean and ask for a divorce, that our children will give up on their education, that we will lose our job, or that some other terrible thing will happen to us, like becoming bankrupt. The issue is that we start to fear one of these issues one day, then another, and then still another. Life's journey not only saves positive and joyful moments for us, but it also stores a few unavoidable challenges. As a result, we constantly experience stress from many stimuli in our daily lives. Epictetus enters the picture at this point. Considering that his suggestion is as extreme as it is practical, he advises considering the possibility that none of the things you greatly fear might possibly come to pass. Your spirit will learn coping mechanisms in this way, enabling you to go forward with confidence. Principle 3. Consider failures as stepping stones to success and growth. We take on impossible tasks to avoid being viewed as foolish people. Epictetus, however, holds a different opinion. His philosophies state that thinking like this is the best thing you can do to advance both personally and professionally, is one of the best things that can happen to you. The Stoic philosopher tells us that conquering comes from a long road of trial and error, rather than being the outcome of an instinctive response, because we can refine what separates us from perfection through mistake. Principle 4. Acknowledge the risks that come with the blessings of wealth. This riches we aspire to carries a stigma that few individuals are able to overcome. Furthermore, it's not just about the individuals who will appear out of nowhere to gain from our good fortune. For example, by acting as though they had friendship for us. People can change because of money, although not always in a positive way. We acquire something that up until that point we were unaware we had until we obtained this highly sought-after resource. And that's when, in response to the erosion of moral principles, our spirit may start to poison itself. Principle 5. Avoid the trap of focusing all your hopes on a single eventuality. Thankfully, diversity is ingrained in our nature as beings. In other words, we shouldn't place all of our expectations in a single dream, because the consequences of failing at it could be disastrous. In light of this, Epictetus advises us to follow several goals, as doing so will greatly raise our chances of success. Principle 6. Never forget that the end of life's path is marked by death. This is not a call to pessimism. Rather, it is a reminder that death is the ultimate destination of all of our deeds, particularly our efforts. With this in mind, maybe we will begin to consider whether it is worth spending 20 years of our meager life savings on a home that, heavy though it may be, we will not be able to take with us wherever death comes. This is similar to how we pack essentials for our daily lives like our phone, credit cards, and toothbrush for our daily travels. It would be very helpful for us to keep a little notepad with these Stoic ideas in it, as they would help us stop viewing life as a series of unfavorable events and setbacks as opportunities for internal growth. However, we'll have a more pragmatic perspective on our existence and undoubtedly optimize our remaining time on Earth. Principle 7. The essence of wealth is a satisfied soul, a result of Stoic virtues. One of Epictetus's well-known quotes allows us to understand his unique take on happiness. A wise man is one who finds joy in what he has rather than worrying about what he lacks. This contemplation goes beyond mere cognition. The advice is to learn how to let go of the notion that riches that we do not yet own will harm us, because we waste precious moments of delight when we let ourselves lament and bemoan what we lack. We miss out on the opportunity to be grateful for everything that we have accomplished thus far, much more than our eyes are taught to recognize. Accordingly, a wealthy person is above all content. Principle 8. Embrace humility as a key component of your life. It is imperative that someone understand what they think they already know if they genuinely want to learn something. Epictetus encourages us to use our humility in this passage, particularly when it comes to lifelong learning. Taking great pleasure in our knowledge causes us to become further removed from the real understanding that comes from realizing how uninformed we really are about the things we want to study. In this sense, we shall view things from the perspective of a child who has both a capacity for wonder and a desire to learn. Principle 9. Guilt acts as a plague, infecting one's peace of mind. Those who lack a broad perspective assign responsibility to others, whereas those with common sense view all forms of guilt as absurd. Because of this Epictetus quote, modern therapists now treat guilt as a negative emotion that needs to be eliminated from our lives. Refusing to engage with guilt is the only way to prevail in the game against it. The issue is that it leads to an easy route, as when we place the blame elsewhere or on ourselves, we totally free ourselves of the need to make the correction. As a result, giving in to this desire is difficult to resist. The only people who can escape guilt and accept responsibility for their acts are those who are motivated by a strong want to succeed. Principle 10. Forge connections with winning people. It's interesting how we instantly turn away from someone who sneezes next to us out of concern that they might infect us. But we do not take the necessary precautions to evade one of the deadliest infections we encounter on a regular basis. Epictetus gave us some really insightful advice on this subject. Surround yourself with people who inspire us to work hard, since other people's actions have a big impact on how we feel. Some people make our days miserable and sap our vitality, while others infuse us with happiness and vitality. As a result, one of the best choices we can make is to surround oneself with positive people and bid adieu to those who have the power to make us regret our birth. Principle 11. Always be conscious that your responses to life's challenges define your destiny. Epictetus was quite certain that our responses determine whether we succeed or fail, so we shouldn't take them lightly. He imparted knowledge on us on how to handle events rather than having the ability to control them. Any of us may experience misfortune, but how we respond to it when it does will determine how things turn out moving forward. Divorce can send some people into a realm of victimhood and sadness, but Epictetus sees it as a chance to go on a journey of self-discovery. Keep in mind that your life is what you do with it, not what happens to you. Principle 12. Always honor your commitments without fail. Every person has a place in the world and in society, and the sun rises every day without the need for acclaim or magic. That much is certain. As a result, we must carry out our responsibilities, just as every aspect of nature does. We fail ourselves and the environment we belong to if we wait for approval or praise before doing our work. It is our moral obligation to complete our tasks without waiting for reminders if we are aware of what needs to be done and that other people depend on us. Principle 13. Refrain from returning hatred for hatred. Instead, simply disassociate from those who despise you. The person who disparages, hates, and treats you unfairly is much smaller and less powerful than you. As a result, stop wasting your valuable time harboring hatred toward that somebody because they don't even merit a place in your mind. It is recommended that you ignore and develop an immunity to the noise made by those who would regrettably want to harm you, so you shouldn't be afraid of them. Principle 14. Bet on simplicity. With all the luxury we can surround ourselves with these days, why live a frugal lifestyle? The solution is far easier and more sensible than you may imagine, as money doesn't keep itself. Instead, it needs dedication and a lot of daily work to be able to sustain this system of comforts and riches. On the other hand, when we choose a simple lifestyle, we become independent of the stress of having to pay our payments on time and pay off our loans and credit cards. Principle 15. When you're disturbed by others' words and behaviors, you're essentially granting them power over your existence. Granting others the ability to anger you is akin to granting them dominion over you. But that person can only irritate you if you give in to being bothered by them. Epictetus teaches us that we all possess a variety of keys, some of which might guide us to bliss and others straight to emotional destruction. And it is this final key that we give to people who irritate us. One way to address this issue is to erect a barrier that shields us from other people's opinions, as everyone has the right to say what they want to say and to choose what to hear. Principle 16. The value of friendship transcends money. Sincere friends are the true source of wealth, since they will stand with us in the event that our worldly prosperity fades. As a result, commit to developing genuine friendships, and you will be making an extremely wise long-term investment. Principle 17. Make it a habit to find the positive in all circumstances. Whether you choose to seize the opportunity or not is entirely up to you. Epictetus said these things. As you can see, it is our obligation to find the positive aspects of hardship rather than our choice to do so. You will be able to recognize the benefits you can derive from the circumstances that have befallen you as long as you possess wisdom. Envision arriving at work one day to learn that you are about to be let go. Rather of giving up and saying the world is against you, you might start the business you've always wanted to start and work with individuals you didn't like every day. As a result, make it a habit to see the bright side of things whenever possible. If you do this throughout your life, it will undoubtedly go you farther than simply moping. Principle 18. Give up worrying about things that are beyond your control. Your reputation is not your property. Your opinion is. You possess the drive and enthusiasm for pursuit, but you cannot dictate the extent of your possessions or success. As a result, worrying and being resentful of the things we cannot control amounts to choosing to squander time. Epictetus argues that while it is our duty to nurture the ideals that we can influence, we must also let go of the things that are beyond our control and let fate to handle the rest. Stoic ideas are not only immensely helpful in day-to-day living, but they can also guide us through difficult circumstances with curiosity and fortitude, because their philosophy forbids fantasy in favor of applying what has been taught and preceding. Since you watched the entire film, I hope you found it entertaining. Please leave a comment below with your thoughts. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Well, see you soon.